Sponsored in part by Wormsway.com, hydroponics and organics, indoor and outdoor gardening. Garden anywhere, garden anytime. Stores conveniently located in Tampa, Florida, Erlanger, Kentucky, St. Louis, Missouri, Bloomington, Indiana, Sutton, Massachusetts, Nashville, Tennessee, and always at Wormsway.com. Welcome to Growing Indoors. I'm Joy Baird. Well, there's been some changes in the grow room since the last time, and if you want to see the progression of all the grow room activities and the materials that we're using from Wormsway, all those links, that link will be in the show notes. You just click on it, it'll take you to the progression of all the videos. So we got a lot of stuff growing in the grow room. We actually have our radishes. We have one radish that is ready to harvest, which is that one right there. This other one's bulbing up. There's the other one bulbing up. So that's something we're going to harvest and taste and see what it tastes like. Other things we got going on, we got a cucumber we got the cucumber plant in the back that's actually put on a little baby cucumber. Now cucumbers, much like tomatoes, are air pollinated. So just walking by, or if you have a fan, can stir that pollination up, and that will actually pollinate. You don't have to hand pollinate like you would a squash or a watermelon for that instance. You need insects or a Q-tip type of pollination. Our tomatoes are pollinated, and we do have some cherry tomatoes on our cherry tomato plant, as well as our black cream has got flowers on it as well. And whenever they get, the flowers open up, all we do is we just go by a couple of times a day and just shake the plant and allow the pollen to stir in the air so it can pollinate itself. The onions in the back are doing fine. They're not bulbing, but they're putting chives on, and I think that's what we're going to end up with because of their long day, short day onions, that whole variety. And you can find that on the series that we do on Tuesday, the Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener. Now, one thing, we'll talk more about some of the insects. One of the things I like that we got from Wormsway is this bug trap. And all the little dots on there's a little cocoa fiber on it, but all them little dots are the gnats that you get whenever you have plants inside. Cocoa coir greatly reduces the amount of insects that you do have, but there is always some insects, and we probably got 50 or 60 on here, and it works real well, and very appreciative to have that without having all the insects flying around. Some other things we do have here, we have some leaf lettuce. We pulled the bush beans out of the container, and we pulled some other things out. We put some leaf lettuce in here. We just sprinkled in, watered in with the nutrients. Now, one of the things about these smart pots that you should keep in mind if you're going to grow in them, whether they're outdoors or indoors, is they're fabric, and they're designed to air prune the roots. In turn, the internal portions of the pot tends to dry out much quicker than the nursery plastic pots. So keep that in mind, that you may have to water these more frequently, but in the long-term benefit of these, they're much more better because the plants actually air prune really good for tomatoes and peppers and items that have large root development in the base there. We also have a little cilantro growing in the back. Our pepper is really doing well in the smart pot, as well as we took some, these are the bush beans that we took out, and we put some kale in. We got one kale there, two kale, there's another one in Germany. We put about a dozen or so kale plants in there just to use the pot to the most efficiently as possible. The hydroponic system in the back, you'll notice there's not a pepper in there. That has been one of the most difficult things that we have experienced in this Growing Indoors series. We went through several pepper plants, and they've just not made it. We've done everything to our understanding correctly with the correct water, the lack the iron problems that we faced, so we melted snow. So we kind of decided, hey, let's try something for fun now. So we just took ahead and put a bush bean in the actual bean, put it in the hydroponic system, and within a week it sprouted, so that's what's growing there. So let's go ahead and harvest this one radish, and we'll see if there's a difference between this type of growing and growing outdoors. Now, obviously, the way we've grown here, we've been very conservative with the space, and in a growing indoor endeavor, you could be very, very dense with your planting, and ooh, look at all those roots, and be very use as much space as you possibly can to grow as many radishes or greens that you decide to grow in. Well, that's not a bad size. That's a little smaller than a ping pong ball. All right, so let's, that's very good root development on that radish. Now the greens are also edible too if you decide to go that route. So let's just cut the top off of the radish here. And let's cut the roots off. Let's get some of these roots off here. And cut it in half, and we'll see. Yeah, looks good. Let's see what it tastes like. Can't tell you if it was grown indoors or outdoors. It tastes just like a normal grocery store radish. So that's something that keep in mind. If you don't have a lot of space, you can certainly get a container of cocoa coir and grow radishes in them. And you can pick up the box of general organic grow box of the nutrients that would be needed. So that's actually a really good radish. So there's some of the things that are going on in the grow room. We've harvested our green beans as well as red radishes. So we've grown on a very small scale, but it shows that it can be done if you decide to upgrade to a much larger scale. You could grow bush beans as well as radishes. And we have tomatoes that are blooming indoors under the lights in the dead of winter. I'm Joey Barrett, and this has been Growing Indoors.
For more information, please visit thewisconsinvegetablegardener.com.